Hi, this is Jose Quesada for Data Science Retreat. Today I wanted to cover a topic. I'm probably going to do more than one session on this, which is what happens when you are in academia and you are transitioning into industry. How can you make the transition as smooth as possible, right? It's not an easy transition, so you're probably maybe in one of the places in the world that is the most detached from value if you are an academic. So this is not a good place to be if you want to transition into industry. The only other place that I can think of that is more detached from value is art. So if you're an academic, you're probably in a tough situation during a recession, more so because universities are going to be facing the fact that their revenue depends on teaching, research and endowments and so on. This is a different story, right? But let's assume for a moment that teaching is important for universities. And if you have a temporary contract at a university, like every postdoc in the world, you are going to feel that the university as an employer is not going to be a good place to be, right? Because universities have to move online. Just doing the same but online doesn't work, and it's not competitive with content that already exists online. So universities are going to be in a tough spot in the next 6 to 24 months, let's say. Some of them will reinvent themselves, some of them won't. If you are a postdoc or any kind of temporary employee for a university, it's time for you to look at transitioning into industry. Data science is a perfect place to go if you are in STEM, if you have technical skills. Many people are trying this and many people have succeeded in my experience. I've mentored many people through data science retreat in the last 6 years, and they are very successful now in industry. So it's totally doable. You can do it too. There are people who are making millions for companies that were academics before. So it's definitely doable. I'm going to try to cover here what you should think about when you're making the transition. And this took me years of effort and paying attention. I was an academic myself, so I made the transition 10 years ago as a data scientist consultant as well. So this is what I've seen, right? Take it for what it is. This is my view, right? I don't have the ultimate map to how to make the transition, right? Okay, the first thing to understand is that the time horizons are very different. In academia, when you're doing a PhD, it's like, okay, you have 5 years to do something original, go. This is not the case at all in industry. Time horizons in industry, 5 months is already a lot. And when you're in consulting, 5 days is totally expected. So you go in, you solve a problem that you know how to solve very well. This is why they bring you in. Boom, 5 days, and you're out. So 5 years to 5 months to 5 days. Big differences. People coming to DSR tell me, oh my God, in this week I've done more than the last 6 months in academia. And this is true, actually. The pace in academia is not as fast as in industry or in any other high performance places, right? Okay, marketing yourself. This is something that doesn't come naturally to an academic. Some academics, particularly the ones in the US, have to master this skill because it's very competitive there and they understand the culture is very much about selling yourself. Not so in Europe. So if you're an academic and you are in Europe, which is probably why you're listening to this, you have to make a big change, and it's an internal change. And the sooner you make it, the better. It's going to take you maybe a year, maybe more, to really internalize all this. First thing is that you are not your publication list. This hurts. When you send a CV, you don't attach your publications, maybe for the first time ever. That publication in this high impact journal that you are so proud of, nobody cares. What you did in your field, your topic, nobody cares. It's sad when you've been spending years of your life working on something that, let's be honest, nobody cares. And the sooner you realize this, the better. So all these years of experience that you have are no longer experience, they're not valued. It's good that you can tackle complex problems, you can focus on something for a long time, that you can do original stuff. This is valuable, but the actual experience in your field, it's gone. You're a junior now. And then you have to face the fact that everybody else applying for the same job is better because they have more experience at marketing themselves, at selling themselves. You're probably the worst person at selling something right now in the pile of CVs for the job that you're applying for. This is sad, and the sooner you realize it, the sooner you can do something about it. So now you have to think about how to market yourself, how to talk about what you do in a way that sounds valuable to somebody else who is not in your topic. Remember, nobody cares about your topic anymore. This is tough, right? But the sooner you get this done, the better for you. Okay. Now, one very important thing. In academia, you can do researchy projects. If you fail on that, it's okay. That's actually what research is about. You have to try things that nobody has tried, and many of those things will lead you nowhere. You can spend 6 months working on a project that goes nowhere. It's okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible either. Nobody likes to publish negative results, so people avoid them like the plague. But still, there is some tolerance to failure, right? In business, there is nothing like that. In business, you have a budget and you have a goal to hit, and heads will roll if the budget is over and the goal is not achieved. This is not academia anymore. So when you say, oh, let me do this project, it's a little bit researchy, it could be that there is no outcome. No. Nobody wants to hear that. This is for another time in your life. Now, they want to hear that you've done this many times, that you know how to do it from A to Z, and you're going to deliver value. The sooner you start paying attention to value, and I know this is hard, no one cares about value in science, more so like basic research or fundamental science. Value is not important. So if you are trying to find a particle in an accelerator, so it's fine if this is something that's not going to produce value today or not in the next 20 years or maybe never. It's fine. This is basic research, this is fundamental research, right? Not so in industry. In industry, things have to be valuable. So remember, all the things that I'm telling you are very much about mental stuff, like mindset. Many of the things are not going to be good for you to hear. You're going to be extremely frustrated when you really internalize that this is happening and you have to change so radically. But the sooner you strip the Band-Aid, the better, right? Okay, so here's another one. In academia, it works a little bit like in art. You wait for somebody to discover the genius of your ideas. There are so many waitresses in California waiting to be discovered as the extremely talented performer that they are. They could be actresses or singers. Academia is like that. You expect for somebody to discover you. There's also this idea of follow your passion, do this research on this weird thing that you are extremely passionate about. Nobody else is. Maybe 20 guys in the world are going to read your paper, but that's fine. This is gone from your life now. You cannot do that. You have to make it totally obvious and explicit how you're adding value to the business. Cannot be like, I'm doing this strange research that, it may work or may never work. No. Here, things have to have value for the bottom line today, not in the future. So a lot of research is like, well, this may be very valuable for the next generation. No. The next generation, nobody cares. Anybody in business, in big corporations, only cares about the next quarter, maybe the next year. By the time the next year comes, they may be in a different position and they're not attached to the goal anymore. So everybody is very much looking at only the short term. You don't want to be pushing things that are going to pay off 20 years from now. No. Okay, so when you pay attention to business value, which is completely alien to you. You have to retrain yourself to look at this. Look at who is generating it. It could be a extremely boring job, but they're generating more value than you. They are more likely to stay there in their jobs far after you are gone. How can you help those guys? So you're creative, you can come up with new solutions. Maybe you can find a place in the business where you are generating value, you're helping them generating value. Stay there. Don't stay in places that look like nobody knows why they are here, why they still are around, right? So this comes to the last point, which is social skills and communication. If you're an academic, you could have survived for years being socially awkward or having a kind of a social IQ that is below average. It's fine. If you produce interesting research, you can be like that. Not so in the world of business. In the world of business, one mistake socially could make you look totally off, and then you're a blip in the radar for the person who is signing your paycheck, and they want to reduce costs, more so now during a pandemic, right? Stakes are high. You cannot be fully around. You have to make sure that you play the politics game, which is probably something you are completely inexperienced with. I was like that. I made plenty of mistakes. In any company bigger than 20 employees, there is politics, unfortunately. And sometimes there are people who don't really do much but play the politics game well. You have to find them and monitor them very closely, because if they see you as a target, if they see you as a competitor, or if they try to attract you to add value to their thing and you don't come because you have something else to do, then you have crossed them and there will be hell to pay. How you communicate is fundamental. You have to train yourself to communicate better. There is no way around. In academia, your presentation can be dry and boring and not interesting, and still people may think the research is high quality, we like the person. In business, no. In business, you have to be a smooth talker, you have to present wonderfully, because people have attention spans that are far shorter. They have incentives to not pay attention to what you are doing, to pitch their thing above your thing. So you have to compete for attention inside the business to get funding, to get attention, to get to the next level. Your project may be wonderful for you, maybe technically outstanding. If nobody else sees it, and this may be through a presentation, then you are screwed. There is nothing that can save you if your presentation is boring. Okay, so how do I know all these things? Because it happened in my life multiple times. It happened in the lives of people who came to data science retreat as academics. Many of them realized this and changed dramatically, and they are doing great right now. And there are companies who are extremely happy that they hired them. I want you to be one of those. So I know this is hard to hear. I know you may be thinking about this already. It's kind of obvious. I wish you the best of luck. And if you want to do what others did and take a shortcut, you can try and apply for data science retreat, and then I will work with you.